Hello, everyone. Welcome to Development Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis. With me today is John McTavish. How you doing, John?
Doing well, man. We were saying in the green room, it's kind of a San Francisco-like day today. A little cool, a little gray, a little rainy, but
Yeah,
tomorrow the sun comes back, so back to smoking, I think.
that's a good sign. So today we are talking about the Rocky Patel Number 6 Robusto. This cigar is a Robusto Extra 5.5 by 50. Comes out of the El Paraiso factory in Honduras. Wrappers Honduran Corojo. Blinders from Honduras. Filler is from Nicaragua and Honduras. Blended by Rocky Patel. Price point is $9.55, and the cigar was released in November of 2019. So with all that out of the way, John, what was your overall experience like with the cigar?
Man, you know what Seth always says, when you have that much Honduran tobacco going on, it's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be amazing or it's going to be lackluster. And sadly, bit of a lackluster experience for me. And I shouldn't say that. It was actually pretty average, maybe even slightly above average. I think the first third had some interesting components, which I was kind of hoping would take it in a good direction. Pepper, baking spices, some sweet cedar, and mild cocoa. Those are a lot of components, subtle components that I get from good Honduran tobacco. So I was like, oh, maybe this will be really good. And then sadly, all of that just kind of fell off a cliff in the second third, and it was just really cedar forward. And then when the cedar dropped off, very earth forward, which just isn't really that enjoyable for me. It's really kind of boring. And then the last third, I'd say the cedar had some tannins to it. So that was kind of unpleasant. But overall, again, sort of very average. In terms of burn and construction, the construction was very good. I had a slight canoe in the last third, so I had a docker for that. Weird thing is I had a really tight draw, like crazy tight draw, and I wouldn't say that's a normal experience for me for Rocky Patel, so I'm just going to chalk this up to bad luck. But it was like 3.5, 4 notches resistance, so like McDonald's milkshake type tight.
There you go.
So yeah. How about you? What was your overall experience like?
For me, the cigar started with charred, slightly bitter wood. A little bit of mustiness joined in, and the wood became a bit dry by the end of the third, and the bitterness dropped out. Final third saw the dry wood move to a kind of a young wood note, a little bit of bitterness rejoined there. Um, you and I had exact opposites in regard to construction. So I had constant relights on this cigar. It just was maddening, but I had
Wow.
a perfect draw. So what are you gonna do about that?
What are you going to do?
Yeah. So for me, it started and ended with bitterness. The other flavor components weren't really anything to write home about. Construction didn't help things. So, really overall lackluster experience. Nothing here that really makes me want to return to this line to just see if it was an anomaly or anything like that. It just, even before the burn issues, it just, the bitterness was there at the beginning. So there was nothing really there to, you know, made me want to, you know, retry it. So gaining the scores from the top with you, John, at 5.55. I gave it a 4.53. So I had that 5.55 match up for you.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the flavor profile, and we were just talking about a cigar that was slightly above average. So it is a slightly above average flavor profile, but the draw really hurts that. And you really shouldn't have a tight draw these days in a Nicaraguan or Honduran cigar. If it's Cuban, I'd say, yeah, that makes sense. But, construction, certainly out of the Rocky Patel facilities, that's just not something I'm used to. Anyways, yeah, that matches up. What about you? How did that score match up for you?
Yeah, my 4.53 matches up. It was a slightly below average flavor profile, really bad burn. So that takes down the score even further. So
And I would say that, believe it or not, I think I could put up with a tight draw more than I could put up with a bad burn, because I think
yes,
bad burn has a much bigger impact on your flavor experience and sort of your general experience with a cigar.
yeah, I mean, wavy burn, or if you have to do some touch ups, not as big of a deal. But if you have to
But
do
relights,
constant
man,
relights,
relights are
that's just
brutal.
hammering that. You're really putting more heat to the cigar than it needs is just not what you want to
100%.
do. So
Yep.
yeah, just there's just nothing. There's no reason to come back to this for me. So
Nope.
just chalk it up to a brand I pass on. So
Lots of better Rocky Patels out there.
absolutely. All right. If you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us. We'll also check out the full written review on the website, developmentpalace.com. Follow us on all the social media channels, and you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one.